In order to replace the speakers on your Alfa Romeo, in my case a Brera, I think this also works with some of the other Alfas, you need a pair of suitable replacement speakers. I'm trusting that these are suitable. They're nice and shallow. They are Pioneer TSG 670s. They're 6 3/4 inch speakers or 6.5 inch speakers. Got them from Halfords and they were £35 or so for the pair. You're going to need some adapter plastic mounts because you can't mount these directly in the door. That will become obvious, and you will need some connector adapters. Now I bought the connectors. I had to change this fast on tab receptacle because it was too small. This one was okay, that one was too small. I put a different one on there, crimped it on with the proper tool. They did it on both the speakers. The plastic mounts are these car audio installation accessories things. I got them from eBay. I will probably leave a link down in the description. You just have to mount the speakers onto the plastic standoff mounts because the speakers in the Alfa Romeo are kind of a moulded affair and they need to stand off slightly. Okay, I've not explained that very well, but it's better than any other explanation you'll probably find on YouTube. Right, now to the car to fit them on. To remove the door cards from the Brera, you need to remove the two Allen screws, which are here and here. There's a third smaller one behind the door latch. There's a little plastic finisher which springs off. You need a small screwdriver to just ping it off. There's a small plastic cover which you can pull off and remove, pull it away, lift it up, and there's another screw behind there on the top of the door. There is an Allen screw, sorry not an Allen screw, a self-tap type screw at the end of the door card here, and there's a further 4 self-tap type screws which are a slightly different size, which are underneath the door. There's 4 of them. You need to remove those. Once you remove those various fixings, you can pull the door card off. Now I'm not going to do that on camera, but there's plenty of ways. There's plenty of videos on YouTube showing how to do it, but you pull it off at the bottom and then lift it out and then unhook it from the top. Okay? Once you've released the door card from the door, pull it off. Be careful because there are 3 electrical connections and a physical connection to the door lock mechanism. So I've lent it, I haven't disconnected anything, I've just lent it against the door as you see here, and that will reveal the speaker. The speaker has got a connector at the top. You can disconnect that. There's a little latch, you unlatch it and then take out the 4 screws that hold the speaker in. Once you've removed the speaker from the door, you can see that it's a moulded plastic unit that holds the magnet on one side and the cone, the paper cone driver on the other side. Some people suggest that you can reuse this. I don't think you can. I think you'd really struggle. You're much better off buying the adapter plates that I've bought. Anyway, you can keep this as a trophy or keep it with the car. So if anyone wants to have the original speakers with it when you come to sell it, you've still got them. That's probably what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to fit the new speakers. One thing to check on when you're fitting your new speaker, once you've got your speaker in your new mount, compare it to the old one and make sure that this magnet on the back of the speaker does not protrude into the door further than the existing one. So you need to just measure that, or just check it by eye. Mine's, I would say, similar or slightly less, so that's okay. But that's quite important because there's a window regulator that goes up and down behind the speaker and it comes quite close to the back of the speaker, so do check that. Right, I've fitted the new speaker in place. I have to say that these don't align with the holes in the door quite as well as they might, but they're good enough. When you're reinserting these screws, make sure you don't mix them up with the ones at the bottom of the door, or they might be different, I'm not sure. But turn them backwards until they click, Then they find the original thread, then turn them forwards until so they go in the original thread and don't cut a new thread. The connector, I've made sure it comes out of the little groove there. There's a little slot in the top, so when you orientate your speaker, make sure the connections come out there. It doesn't really matter about whether that's upside down or not. And then I've just poked the connector adapter behind this cable here to keep it out of the way when I'm putting the door thing back on, because normally it would be tucked into a part of the moulding here, but I think there's enough space there for it to be an okay fit. Right, now I'm going to try putting the door card back on. Let's hope it goes on okay without any problems, and then we can see if it works okay. Then I'll do the other side, but let's just check that this one works first. Okay, speakers in, the door card is back on. It's not buttoned up yet, it's not screwed in place, but I've refitted it and clipped it in. I've checked that everything still works, that nothing's become disconnected. It's very easy to disconnect this switch, especially if someone's been in there before you and damaged the connector and it doesn't latch anymore like my one did. So it just remains now to put the screws back in carefully and then do the other door. So that will be next, but I probably won't bother to film that. So that's pretty much how to do it. I hope that was helpful, and if it was, I'm glad. I wasn't able to find anything on YouTube on how to do this, so that's why I put this video on. Right, thanks for watching, guys.